peace and power to the true and living. What's good, family? It's CBornNacirfaSun, and I am you. Yo, I'm excited to be back with another video. It's been a while. It's been like a month or a little over a month, and I don't think I've gone that long without dropping a video since I've been doing this. But I've been going through a little transition in life. Had to take some time off to get situated, but I'm excited to be back with another powerful reflection. And this one I titled The Mark of the Beast Part 3. I never even thought I'd be doing a part 2, let alone a part 3. But ever since I made The Mark of the Beast, I've gotten a lot of interesting comments. And I've got a lot of the same questions from different people. They ask me, they say, if you say that electronics are the mark of the beast and they're really hurting us and they're really a trap, then how would you be able to share your message with the world? Is this electronic technology that makes it possible for you to share your message with the world? So you have to admit that there are a lot of benefits to these electronics. And it's true. There are a lot of benefits to these electronics. But the more important question to ask is, what have we lost? What have we lost? You know what I'm saying? In using these electronic technology to the scale to which we are using it today. What have we lost? And the answer is that we have lost our spiritual growth. We have lost our spiritual evolution. We have lost our being. Because these electronic technologies, one of the things that they do is they prevent us from growing spiritually. They prevent it keeps us from unlocking our dormant spiritual powers. Therefore, we cannot achieve the level of spiritual evolution that we're supposed to achieve. So that's one thing, and that's huge. And these Lucifarian entities that gave us the idea to create these electronic technologies, they knew exactly what they were doing. And this was their principal aim, to keep human beings from spiritually progressing and developing our dormant spiritual powers. Because all that these electronic devices can do, all the things that they can do, these are things that we should have been able to do within ourselves without the aid of machinery and electronics and so forth. These are things that we were by now supposed to be able to do within ourselves. But because we have been given these cheap substitutes that we think are the greatest thing in the world, we are far disconnected from our spiritual growth and evolution, and we're living under the delusion of progress. But the only thing that seems to be progressing is the electronic technology, while human beings seem to be becoming more and more degenerate. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is this: if we had not accepted Lucifer's lies and temptation, and we had not went down the road of implementing Lucifer's lies and temptations, if we had not went down that road, there would have never been a need for me or anyone else to share their message with the world. If I or anyone else had a message, it would have just been for those people who are around me, within my proximity. If somebody else on the other side of the world had a message, it would have just been for those people over there. So that's another thing. So I want to go through some points once again and go a little deeper into just why these electronic technologies are the mark of the beast and how they are causing more harm than the benefits that they're bringing. Like the things that we have lost, in order to gain these electronic technologies, what we have gained is not worth what we have lost. You know what I mean? So these electronics are literally vampires. They are vampires. they drain our energy. They drain our spiritual energy. They make us more tired. They make us more stressed, more depressed, more angry, more alone, and the list goes on. And you don't have to take my word for it. There's been enough research done now that shows just how these things drain our energy. It's been enough done, so you don't have to take my word for it. But these things are literally vampires, and we have to remember that the Lucifarian entities, these disciples of Lucifer, these children of Lucifer, who have tricked us into creating these things, they did it because they need it, not because we need it. We don't need it. We never needed it. But unfortunately, we have forced it into being to a point where we cannot live without it. But we never needed this stuff. They needed it, and we're going to get a little deeper into that. There's Ralph Smart. If you know who Ralph Smart is, he describes these entities as the inorganic ones, and I like that term because it is actually quite accurate. These Luciferian entities, these disciples of Lucifer, these children of Lucifer, whatever you want to call them, they are the inorganic ones. Because one thing we have to remember is this: when Lucifer fell and decided to rebel against the Creator, his aim was to destroy the work of the Creator. And the way that he goes about doing that is by doing the exact opposite of everything that the Creator put into place, by violating all the laws of the Creator that not only brought creation into existence, but nourishes and maintains creation. So his aim was to do the exact opposite of all of the Creator's work, everything the Creator put into place. So this is why eventually Lucifer and his disciples became the inorganic ones, because what ended up happening is that by applying these wrongful principles, by living according to Luciferian ideas, over time they became so degenerate that when they experienced physical death, when they left the earth, they were banished to a dark and ethereal planet, because they have fallen so low that they were banished to a dark and ethereal planet. And that was for the protection of those of us who were still on the planet Earth. But then what ended up happening once these creatures got banished to these dark ethereal planets, it's kind of like the damage had already been done, because human beings on Earth, we continue to live according to Luciferian lies and temptations. We continue to implement these things. So over time, we ourselves became more and more degenerate, to a point where we were able to establish a connection to the dark ethereal planets that these Luciferian entities were banished to. So over time, through our implementation of Luciferian principles, we created a connection between those dark planets and our planet Earth. So that's the reason why today you have so many souls on this planet Earth that do not belong here. They belong on those dark and ethereal planets. And I think I may have talked about this in one of my previous videos. But there's a lot of souls on this planet today that do not belong here. But because humanity have created a bridge to these dark and ethereal planets by us implementing Lucifer's lies and temptations, we have opened the gates to where now a lot of those degenerate Luciferian entities, souls, are able to incarnate on the planet and spread their darkness and their destruction. They Because remember, these are extremely degenerate entities that we're talking about. So they hate organic life. Why? Because organic life no longer serves them. This is why they are called the inorganic ones, because organic life no longer serves them. Matter of fact, it hurts them. Because remember, the principal aim of Lucifer was to do the opposite, the complete opposite of everything the Creator put into place. So the Creator gave us life, gave us peace, freedom, joy, prosperity, and opportunities to unfold our hidden spiritual abilities, and evolve and become greater than what we were. So the Creator gave us all these opportunities, but these inorganic ones, right, they have taken almost all of that away, because it does not serve them. This is why today on our planet we see a lot of things. We see slavery in so many different forms, hatred, anger, stress, depression, division, and the list goes on and on and on and on. All these things that are completely opposite of what the Creator gave us originally. So they hate organic life because it doesn't serve them. It doesn't serve them. And they want to replace organic life with inorganic life, which is why they have tricked us into creating and accepting these electronic technologies, right? The ultimate aim of this electronic technology is to replace organic life, is to replace humanity. So right now, if you pay attention to what's happening in the world, if you pay attention to what all the things that DARPA is creating, and most people don't even know who DARPA is. When I have conversations of this nature with people and I ask them, are you familiar with DARPA? Most people that I ask that question to don't know who or what DARPA is, right? But you need to know who and what that organization or that entity is, because of all the things that they're creating. So look at some of the things that DARPA is creating. The artificial intelligence technology that they are creating. Look at what the Asian scientists are creating as far as artificial intelligence technology goes. And you will see that ultimately the point is to replace organic life, to replace human beings with inorganic electronic technology, to a point where, we will become obsolete, because computers, artificial intelligence will completely take over everything, to a point where human beings will become obsolete. And the only way for us to have any kind of relevance is for us to merge with these things, which is why I mentioned earlier that the mark of the beast, that these electronic, devices, the cell phones and tablets and things like that, are just one phase of it. But it's going to go deeper. It's going to go to the computer chips in people's arms, but eventually it's going to go to computer chips in your brain. Eventually it's going to be replacing body parts with machinery and so forth. It's going to go to all those extent. But once again, we look at these things and we just think, we look at this technology and we just think that it is the greatest thing in the world. And we think that we're making some kind of a progress. As a humanity, as a species, we're not progressing. We're doing the opposite. We are retrogressing. What's progressing, what's evolving is the electronic technology, but not us. How do I know we're not evolving? We're not evolving. Look at what's still happening in our world today. Look at the levels of hunger. Look at all the social conflicts. Look at all the destruction. And it seems to be getting worse and worse. Look at what's happening around the world. What's happening in Cuba. What's happening in America. What's happening in Australia. What's happening in Canada. So how can we say that then that we are progressing when our planet, you know, is showing us signs of the very opposite? So no, we're not progressing. We're retrogressing. But that's what these electronic technologies are meant to do. They're meant to keep us from reaching our spiritual evolution, from developing our dormant spiritual powers. That's what they're meant to do, right? But most of humanity don't realize this because we're so disconnected. We're so disconnected from our spirituality because our spirituality is being replaced by electronics. And a lot of us don't even realize that because we're lost. We're caught up in the temptations and the lies that they're telling us, you know. What's another thing? Electronics dumb us down. They dumb us down. We can't spell. I mean, just go on social media and look at a lot of things that people post. Even a lot of these celebrities that we look up to. I've read some of these social media posts by some of these celebrities. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers can't spell. You know, no kind of punctuation, just nothing but run-on sentences, no periods, no commas, misspell words. I'm like, damn, and these are grown people, you know? They dumb us down. We can't spell, you know. A lot of our youngins coming up these days can't read. We can't remember things like we used to. Why? Because we have these electronics to do everything for us. You remember the movie WALL-E? If you've never seen the movie WALL-E, go ahead and check that out. You know? And that's another thing about movies that we need to realize. These movies are literally holding the mirror up to us and showing us ourselves. But we're watching these things and thinking that, oh, it's just entertainment. No, it is our reality. So when you look at a movie like WALL-E, yo, that's us right now to a certain extent. And even more so in the future, to where you will have machines doing everything for us, even lifting the food and putting it in your own mouth. We won't even be able to do that. So you have computers feeding us. You know, we have machines feeding us, wiping our asses, you know, putting the drinks up to our mouth so we can drink and so forth. Just like in the movie WALL-E. You know, that's the future. You know, that's the present and more so the future that is being created because of our love of these electronic technologies, because we think they're just the greatest thing in the world, not realizing that it is a trap. It is an enslavement, complete enslavement. What else? They said, teach a man to fish. I'm pretty sure you heard that proverb before. If you teach a man, as opposed to giving a man fish, as opposed to feeding the man, no, you teach him how to go and get his own food. Because if you feed the man, you have to keep feeding him over and over and over and over again. But if you teach the man how to go out and get his own food, then he becomes self-sufficient. He can stand on his own too. He can do for himself, and then he can do for others and show others how to do for themselves and so forth. So you become empowered. You grow, you evolve. Right? But when we look at our relationship with these electronic technologies, it is not teaching us how to fish. It is giving us the damn fish. It is feeding us, keeping us dumb and fat and lazy and slow. That's what it's doing. Right? But as I mentioned in the Market of Beast Part 2 video, because we have literally forced these things upon ourselves, you know, that it is because we don't need it. We never needed it. But since we believe in it so much, we love it so much, we have forced it into being to a point where we cannot live without it. So we have created a very chaotic situation for ourselves. We are enslaved to electronic technology, and it's only going to get worse. You know? So when I say that these things are the mark of the beast, it goes deep, man. It goes deep. And I know that we love our cell phones and our tablets and our 5G because, oh my gosh, it's so fast. Oh, it's so cool. It's keeping us all connected, which is really not. It's making us more lonelier, more unhappy. Once again, the research has been done. It has been done. You know, this is why these inorganic Lucifarian entities tricked us, you know, into creating electronic technology, you know, and now it's getting to a point where eventually it's going to replace humanity. It's going to replace us, you know, because remember, these inorganic ones, they hate life. They hate organic life. Organic life does not sustain them. You know, it is dark energy that sustains their life. They need that dark energy. This is why they have given us something that drains our spiritual energy and converts our spiritual energy into dark energy. And that dark energy is what feeds them. This is why I said that electronic technology is a vampire. It's a tool of the vampire, because these fallen, degenerate, Luciferian entities, some of whom are fallen angels and some of whom are human beings, human spirits who have clung on to the Luciferian temptations and lies, right? Their lives are now sustained by dark energy, right? So we are a food source to them, just like it said in the movie The Matrix. We are a source of dark energy for them. You know? So this is why in the media you're always going to see negative things. You're always going to see the propagation of negative things. You know, I mean, just look at racism. It's like they're bringing racism back. Like they are reinventing racism, yo. So now it's coming to a point where racism is okay now. You know, this thing that we claim that we've been fighting against for so long and we want to get rid of it. Now racism is cool. And they're starting to teach that shit in school, you know, and they have completely changed the definition of racism, you know. So now only powerful people can be racist, whatever that means, you know. Only powerful people can be racist. If you're poor, you know, if you're a minority, you can't be racist. And that's just so fucking ridiculous, yo. It's freaking ridiculous. Racism is something that no matter what walk of life you come from, whether you're rich or poor, powerful or not, every human being is not only guilty of racism, but is capable of racism. So you can't just sit up here and tell me that only white people are capable of being racist because they are the powerful ones. And we black people, we're not powerful, so we can't be racist. Man, get the fuck out of here, yo. Why are we letting these people do this to us? Because really it's our fault. You know, it's our fault. And this is what happens as a result of, you know, us accepting the mark of the beast, the electronic technology, which prevents us from developing our spiritual powers. You know, we never really reached the pinnacle to which we should have and could have reached, you know, on earth. We never reached there. You know, what the Creator had in store for us, what He gave us. We were never really able to experience that because somewhere along the way, we accepted Lucifer's bullshit, the lies and temptations. You know, we accepted it. And now look at the situation that we're in. Look at the situation that we're in. Globally. You know, we have this fake ass, whatever you want, the C-1984, the pandemic that's going on. I mean, why do we keep letting these people do this to us? These people are Lucifarians. They are being controlled by Lucifarian principles. These inorganic ones who were banished to this dark ethereal planets. Because remember, now we have now established a bridge to these dark ethereal planets. So all the shots are being called from there. And we over here are just going along with this shit because of our ignorance. You know, the Creator has sent messengers after messengers, prophets after prophets to awaken us and open our eyes to what's really going on. You know, to let us know just how enslaved we are and to teach us how to liberate ourselves. You know, and the Creator even sent His own seed, Jesus, and we murdered Him. We murdered Him because we prefer the darkness to the light that he was bringing. You know, and then after we murder Him, we turn around and say, "Oh, well, he was supposed to be murdered. That's why God sent Him here. So let's murder Him and then turn around and worship Him." Right? Let's murder Jesus and then turn around and worship Him. Yo, why do we keep letting these people play with us like this? You know, like I said, man, this market of beast, this shit goes really deep. It goes really deep. And eventually we're going to have to liberate ourselves from this shit, or we're going to perish with it. Because all these electronics, I mean, they're going to have to be done away with. Because humanity is not going to be able to reach our you know, we're not going to be able to evolve. So it's either we got to do away with the technology, or we got to perish with the damn electronic technology. Do away with it, or perish with it. You know, it's going to have to be done away with because we never needed it. We never needed it. I remember, man, do you remember growing up? Like, if you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s, then you should remember growing up at a time where we didn't have cell phones. You know, there was no social media. If we had a computer, it was one damn computer, a desktop computer in the house that you could not take everywhere with you. Man, I miss the times where we didn't have the burden of these smartphones and tablets and all this nonsense. I miss those days, you know. But now it's like we're trapped with this stuff. We can't let it go. And you know, the question was posed to me over and over again. Well, what about you? You talk about this is the market of beast, this, that, and the third. Well, you still got cell phones. Yeah, yes, I still have a cell phone. Yes, I still have this shit because we're trapped. We can't live without this shit anymore. And I live in this world. I live in this society. So I need it. I'm a working man. I got to feed my family. So it's like I got to get down with this shit. You know? But we never needed this shit, essentially. We forced it into being. And because we accepted that, Guess what? That let the inorganic ones, these Lucifarian entities, it let them know that, oh, okay, they accepted this from us, then we can move on to the next phase, which is putting chips, computer chips inside of the human body, and eventually replacing body parts with computer chips. You know. And I was having a conversation with someone, and they posed a very, man, this is a powerful question, and it was like, so if we start putting chips inside our bodies and stuff like that, and trying to integrate with these electronics, what's gonna happen if we if those computers that's inside of our bodies get a virus? Never thought about that, huh? Right? When we start to computerize the human body, right, and that shit gets a virus, what you gonna do then? You know, that's just one of the many branches of shit going wrong that we can't even foresee because we're so damn blind. You know, so damn blind. But anyways, man, I gotta wrap this up. So I'm trying to see, is there any other points I'm missing? I think that's it for now, man. And yeah, I think that's it for now. And I don't know. I can say I'm gonna leave this topic alone for a while, but I doubt it. Who knows? There might be a part 4, there may not be, who knows. But someone had hit me up and asked me to talk about the Trinity. So my next video is going to be about the Trinity. And yeah, my next video is going to be about the Trinity. And I'm glad that this person hit me up and told me to talk about the Trinity, because that's something very important that we need to understand. A lot of people don't understand the Trinity, man. You know, a lot of people don't. Even these pastors and bishops and so forth, these people who make millions of dollars, whose job it is to teach people about these things, they don't know shit about it, man. They don't know not a damn thing. You know, this is why people need to stop depending on outside entities. Stop depending on this or that person to be your leader, to be your guru or whatever. The Creator has already given us what we need. The Grail message has been delivered to humanity with great sacrifice, great pain and suffering, but yet it still came. You know, with all the Lucifarian entities fighting against it, trying to suppress it, it still came. So the Grail message is here for you, so that you don't have to depend on anyone. You don't have to depend on the thinking or the opinions of anyone. You can get the knowledge of creation for yourself. You can get the knowledge of life for yourself and stand on your own 2 feet and be your own guide and guide yourself back into the light of the Creator. Stop depending on other people to do this for you. It won't happen. You must do the work. This is your life. You must walk down the road. This is your life. You must live it. No one else can live it for you. It's your life. Therefore, you must get the knowledge of creation. You must get that knowledge and you must live it. And that's why the Grail message came to us. Get the message. Read the message. Connect yourself back to the light. And stop depending on other people to come and save you or do this, that, and the third for you. It makes no damn sense. Why would the Creator give us so much? So much. And yet we turn around and sit on our asses and expect things to be done for us. If that's the case, then we should have never had the opportunities to evolve. We should have stayed at the stage of babies. What's the point of us growing up and becoming adults if we still expecting shit to be done for us? No. We gotta do it. Teach a man to fish. The Grail message came to teach you how to fish. You know what I mean? So get the message, man, and stop letting these evil, dark dirty, disgusting, filthy, Lucifarian, children of Lucifer, disciples of Lucifer, devils who are concentrated in places of power all over the world. Stop letting these people lie to you and run your lives because you're ignorant, because you're scared. Get the message. You know what I mean? So with that being said, man, peace and power to the true and living, the CBornNacirfaSun, and I am you. If it ain't love, it ain't nothing. If it ain't love, it ain't nothing. Yeah. If it ain't love, it ain't nothing.